Welcome to Skyler Jarvis Media.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Skyler Jarvis.
What's up, everybody? This is the Skyler Jarvis Show, and today I've got a very special guest in the building. Margaret, introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Margaret. I am from Tarboro, North Carolina. I was born blind, but
Were you?
my goodness.
So you were born in Tarboro,
Yes.
and you still live there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I would love to get up somewhere like Raleigh,
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
somewhere with transportation.
I hear you, Margaret. I really do. So, what was it like for you growing up being blind?
I mean, middle and elementary school were all right, but, you know, being the only one there, you kind of feel like you're the only one in the world
Yeah.
that's like this.
I believe you, because I mean I felt like the same thing too when I was going to elementary school. Like, I had a VI teacher, and you know, she was very good. Her name was Miss Dubow. She was a very good teacher, but you know, I asked her, "Is there any blind people and any more blind people in the school?" And she said no. But there was, you know, up and down, you know, Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Burlington, Durham, you know, all that stuff, and then Raleigh, of course, was, you know, the Governor Moorhead School for the Blind, and so what was your first experience with the Governor Moorhead School?
So I went to short term, and it's where students who are not in Governor Moorhead yet can go up there and experience it for a week. And I was kind of like, wow, there's more of us out there. I actually can have friends that I can feel truly kind of connected to.
Yeah. And the thing about it was, at least for me, is that, like, you didn't realize how important that was to be around people like you. And it took my parents forever to let me go to Governor Moorhead full time. I mean, they'd let me go to short term and the summer camps and all that stuff. But when it come to actually going to GMS full time, they were kind of iffy. They was like, well, what if something happens down there? Blah, 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 Scooby-Dooby-Doo. You know, what, you know, everything, like, parents, like, they're always trying to look out for you, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I felt like I really needed this because I wasn't getting it in middle school years, especially middle school. Elementary was all right for me. You know, it was more the middle school when I started experiencing teachers trying to, you know, get me out of going to field trips without a chaperone. You know, I remember this one time, you know, in 7th grade, they were passing out permission slips. I forget what field trip it was, but they put it out. You know, they gave it to everybody, and I was sitting in the back. You know, I wasn't sitting with any of the students because, of course, I was the blind guy. I always had one-on-one teachers coming in every, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a darker table, so I could see a white piece of paper, and there was no piece of paper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then that ain't even the crazy part, man. The crazy part is that a few days later, they start asking for permission slips, and they're sitting there like, Skyler, where's your permission slip? We gave you a permission slip. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we did.
God.
Yeah, the whole school knew. I mean, my one-on-one teacher, God bless her, her name's Miss Orem. You know, I got in extension class where that's basically where you go from between your homeroom and your first block.
Mm-hmm.
So the extensions happen, and then I walk in Miss Orm's room, and she's like, Skyler, did you turn in your permission slip? I'm like, how did you know about that? They didn't give
Dude, you're lucky. You're lucky your mama ain't like mine, or your school people are lucky that your mama ain't like mine.
Papa went up there, and he went up there and showed him a thing or two. Because I came home and I told him that weekend. And I have to take Papa's word for it because, you know, I wasn't there when he went up. But apparently he went up to the office and he gave them a talking to.
Yeah, if there was stuff like excluding me from field trips going on, my mama would be bashing heads.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Your mama, you know, I mean, my mama would have done it if she realized, but at the time, Margaret, I was really shy with people. I mean, I was very talkative, but at the same time, I couldn't really relate to nobody because nobody there was blind.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, I could relate on some ways, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, I didn't connect with them like I did with y'all whenever I came and I transferred to the Governor Moorhead School. So, what was it like in your middle school years?
I mean, it was okay. Like, I didn't have any of the big problems like you did, but it was just that kind of feeling of disconnection.
Disconnection, yeah. I can see that. So 2016, you actually go full time in 2016, 17?
August of 15 is when I started full time.
August of 15. So you said whenever you got there full time, you realized that things could be different. That, you know, these are people that walk, talk, act, think like you do.
Yes.
And what was that? Was that how eye-opening was that for you?
Very. I mean, imagine imagine you're an alien.
Uh-huh.
And you get just took back to your planet.
Right.
And you just kind of realize I'm here, I'm home, I'm with my people.
And yeah, I mean, especially when I started going, I started going in 2016. For me, you know, it was hard to let go of middle school, you know, even though they were kind of bastards to me at some points. You know what I mean? But there were still good teachers that honestly wanted to help me out. So it was Mr. Crooks that I really had a hard time saying goodbye to, because there were these goggles, not the E-Sight ones that you and Kimmy had, but this was before I heard about them. But there was it was the Google Cardboard. But, yeah, so Mr. Crooks had found out a way for me to see, really be able to see with those goggles. And they had an app on the App Store. I think they still have it today, but it's called Nearsighted VR Augmented Aid. And basically what it would do is you would put it on, you'd put it in the thing, in the goggles, and it would basically show your surroundings through the camera, and you were looking at it in VR. But it was augmented reality. There's virtual reality is when you just see a virtual world in front of you. Augmented reality is when you see the actual world around you. So that's what it was, basically. It was an augmented aid to help with, people like me, and they'd put it on there, and I think they had a pair of Samsung, real expensive Samsung goggles. And with them, they about got my vision down to 2080.
Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah, and my vision's 2800, at least the last time we checked.
Okay.
So, as a matter of fact, you said yours is like a little bit below mine. Yours is 2700, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they got mine down from 2080 or 2800 to 2080, and then they would get like 2100 with the Google Cardboard goggles.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, like, that was an experience of a lifetime. Like, I remember going in there, and, like, that was the one time they let me walk around the school. And my brother was in 6th grade at the time, so we went by his room, and Caden, he just had a what the heck moment. It's like, I was able to tell him that his eyes were blue. Yeah. So, what was it like leading up to the time where you transitioned?
Well, I don't remember too much about it, but my O&M teacher, Mr. Waters, told me and my parents about GMS. And that's when I went to short term, found out I liked it, and finally my parents were like, all right, you can go there. We see you're happy there. And
lucky. Go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, I was like 15 at the time.
Right.
That this happened. Hey, well, I don't know about 15, like 13. Hey, no, it was 15.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was around 2015, so you would have been 15 at the time. 14 going on 15 probably.
Yeah. That sounds more like it.
Okay.
Goodness. Anyway, kind of knowing that I was getting out of there, I was excited. I was ready.
Yeah, me too. I remember like going to the first open house and just being like, wow, I'm finally gonna be in a place where and then I finally got to see the bottom cottages to A2 because they had just opened it back up at the time, and it was just like you said, man. It was like, now I'm home. I'm with the people. I'm with people that function like I do, and have varying degrees of blindness. And what the funny thing about it was, me and you turned out to have the same eye
condition, yeah.
Eye condition, optic nerve hyperplasia. Ain't that something?
Yeah, and I think we went crazy when we found that out.
Very crazy. It was just like, whoa, that was eye-opening, because me and you had met somebody. I'd never met anybody else who had optic nerve hyperplasia before.
Right. You hear your RPs, your all these, but I had never heard of anybody else with optic nerve hyperplasia.
Well, I have optic nerve hyperplasia and septo-optic dysplasia. So.
Okay.
I've actually recently I had heard somebody. Oh, go ahead.
That means the discs are small as well, right?
Right. I think so. So yeah. I actually heard somebody recently that had septo-optic dysplasia. It's weird.
Okay.
It's weird, like finding out somebody else has the same eye condition as you do. That's weird.
Yeah.
And
in a cool way, though.
Yeah, it in a very cool way. It's like, hey, I connect with you. I have the same eye condition.
Yeah.
And that's definitely how me and you reacted whenever we found out.
Yeah.
Actually, you were one of the first people that I actually got to bring home.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually took you mining.
Yes. Well, I think one of your parents or somebody had looked up stuff to do, and I heard that, and I was like, yeah.
I don't know, but did you come before that? Because I think I remember you coming a little bit before that time. No, I think that was your first time. I think you had rode with us. You were going to spend the weekend with Cammy. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Shout out Kimmy Richter.
Yes. Oh, I should send her this one when this one comes out.
Well, it's coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm gonna send this to her.
But I remember that weekend like it was me and you did everything together. I remember actually going and seeing The Outsiders play.
Yes. Oh my God, that was it. Oh, okay, it was so crazy, like how accurate to the book that was.
Very much so. You don't see a lot of that in
No, you don't.
plays, movies. I will say, like, the I've been watching Game of Thrones recently, and the series is almost, especially with that first book, it's almost 1-to-1. Like, there's certain
Okay.
there's certain scenes in that first season ripped straight out of the book.
That's awesome. I love a good, accurate adaptation.
Yeah, me too. And The Stand. A lot of people. My family thinks I talk about it way too much, but I mean, this is just from me being, honest, and not me just being biased because I like it. But that's a pretty faithful adaptation as well. At least the 1994 version is. 2020 version isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020 version took a lot of stuff out. It's still good, but it's nothing like that 94 series.
It kind of jumped around a bit for me.
Yeah.
The book did.
Yeah. It does. It does. It's something you've definitely got to get used to if you want to read something like that. But my question is, whenever you started graduating, what was that like? Knowing that you were going to leave.
Like April or May of my senior year, and I think I told you about that. I warned you about that. April or May of like senior year hit me like a truck.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm graduating. I'm gonna be back in the world.
Yeah. For me, you were right, and I realized it soon enough. But for me, it was like, I woke up the day I was graduating. It was June 3rd. And we go the same night, me and Mama take off to the beach. But we go up, and of course this is during COVID, of course. So they come to the Hickory bus stop, bring all my stuff, all the clothes and stuff that I had left up there and stuff, and then my diploma. And to me, it's especially during that time, it just felt like, okay, I graduated, now what?
God, I am so lucky to have gone in 19.
Daggone right. So, I wish I would have gone in 19. If I didn't fail first grade, I would have. Dagnabbit.
Yeah.
But what was it like when you started trying to get jobs? When you started actually trying to make it in the world?
Well, it was interesting. A lot of calling around and like nothing really
happening
coming of it. But I finally applied to Hibbett, And me and my job coach at the time had heard about a thing they were having, a hiring thing they were having. And so I went up there, and she was pretty much doing interviews on the spot. So we went that way, and by the end, she said she wanted to hire me, and I was exploding.
I bet you was. I mean, I remember that. I mean, this was during COVID times, though. After my graduation, I was like, okay, I gotta find a job, especially since I knew I was probably not gonna get to go over there. I had everything set up for me at LCI. I was gonna go there. I was gonna work yeah.
Oh, that's even worse than getting kicked out of the center.
Yeah. But I had every opportunity, and it wasn't really LCI that kicked me out. It was COVID, I know. It was the fact that it was COVID, and then it was the fact that my mom and dad they didn't think I was ready to go, so yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to go that August, and then my dad was a little PO'd because he didn't think I was ready, and then Mama was backing me most of the time, and then she was just, this one night, she was just mad at Dad for some reason, and I told her, or no, it was during the day, and I came in the room and I told him, I was like, Mama, I'm thinking about doing this. I got to do something with my life. And she exploded on me. She's like, you're not ready, Skyler. The whole bull crap, whole 9 yards. And then I told her not to tell Dad, and I was like, because I don't want him blowing up on me. So next day, I get a long text from him, and I knew Mama had gone and told him. Yeah.
What's up? You're breaking up.
So, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so the next day I got a text message from him. Basically, like he was gonna tell him that I wasn't ready and blah, blah, blah. Tell Mr. Duffy that I wasn't ready or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't actually think he did it, but I was just like, man, that really sucked.
I mean, our parents can be really good at supporting us, but they can also be really good at holding us
back. Exactly. And that's something, parents might not realize they're doing it. They might just think they're doing it for the good of their kid, but that can actually be holding them back in so many ways. And that's why I've been doing these Blind Lives Matter episodes and letting people know that it's not just me that go through these types of things. It's a bunch of other people, and most of us are still stuck at home living with our parents because our parents don't want to take a chance on us doing for ourselves, or we can't find something to do for ourselves. Nobody will let us. Nobody will hire us.
Yeah. Well, that's that's a part of the problem. Like, yes, our parents are one layer of the problem, but employers, people in the world, just there are a lot of other layers to that problem that involve people thinking that we can't do anything.
Exactly. You know, it was really hard for me during the COVID times, and for me, it just felt like a downward slope, a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I mean, me especially. I was coming here to the Career and Training Center.
You got lucky.
And I thought, this is my takeoff. This is my point. And then COVID kicked me out of here. And luckily now, this couple months, I'm back. And I think Mama especially is kind of more ready than she was then. I believe I'm more ready than I was then.
That's good. And I really want to make it down there to the Career Center one day, man. Anybody that's working at the Career Center that's hearing this, please listen. Try to get me down there, cause I've already told you about the DSB. No. It was a black hole then. I'm not doing it another time.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried it 2 times, Margaret. So it was
Dude, you know the saying?
What's saying?
3rd time's a charm?
Well, I guess. I mean, heck, I don't know, man. But
I'm putting it out there. They're going to get back with you. You're going to get up here. I am putting it out there.
I would really like to. I would like to, just to be able to see GMS again.
Yeah, it is awesome being back here.
I've heard they've changed a lot.
I don't think it's changed like too much.
Have you seen Oh, sorry. But
no.
Doggone. That was the one where I heard they did the most changes. And then the doors, like you have to have a card to get through the doors now.
Oh yeah.
You had to do that at the
funny.
I said you had to do that at the Career Center, but
yes.
Now they got
story,
it up there.
Though.
What is it?
So during my assessment week for this time, I had just kind of went down the library to see if I could see anybody or anything.
Right.
And I didn't know about the whole card thing at GMS anyway. I knew about it with the center, but I didn't know it was GMS. So I tried like the front door of library, and I was like, it's locked. And Miss Shawnee and Miss Davis bust out like, MQ! Oh my goodness! And
Miss Davis is there now?
Huh?
Miss Davis is there now?
She was subbing at the time. I don't know if she still is. I haven't run into her again lately.
Shout out Miss Davis if you've been watching the podcast.
Yes.
We got your girl MQ on here. You're going to have to check it out.
I'm going to have to send this to her too.
So you were saying they caught you at the door in Limeberry?
Yeah, and I was like, they're kind of like, what are you doing here? Well, I'm doing an assessment at the Career and Training Center and just wanted to stop by and see some things.
Heck
Now,
yeah.
wasn't it you that told me about the auditorium?
I think it was either me or do you still talk to Jacob Grancher?
No, I do not. I was not good with.
Okay.
Maybe it was Haley because she told me about the cafe.
It was either Haley or me. I think I told you from rumors, but I don't know. It might have been Haley first that told you.
Well, I definitely know Haley told me about the cafe. So sometimes on Fridays, on the porch of Simpson, they run a little cafe kind of thing, and they have a bakery, like donate stuff from there, and they kind of sell it kind of by donation.
Right.
So most of the time when they're open, some of us from the center go down there.
Wow, man. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Like summer camp, at the end of summer camp when everybody used to get up on the porch of Simpson and sit and eat.
Yeah.
You remember
I think
that?
we did a couple of things there. Wasn't it like one short term where we did this like stone cutting thing?
Ooh, gosh. It's been so long, Margaret, that there's some things I just don't remember.
Maybe not. I mean, it's just a random thing that just kind of popped up in my head just now.
Me and you went to Perkins School for the Blind.
Oh, yeah. And that was like deep in our daughter's face. And it did remind us, like anything, of Hogwarts. Oh, my goodness.
We both had a crazy Harry Potter phase going. And
ooh, talk about book adaptation earlier. They butchered Goblet of Fire.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They butchered that in the movie. Like in the movie where Dumbledore pushes, or when his name comes out of the goblet. Yeah, calmly. Did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire? Calmly, my butt.
Seriously though.
But we were definitely getting Hogwarts vibes, and then like all that was turned on its head whenever me and you walked into this. It was like a hall, and we looked up. We looked up on the ceiling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looked like like the Great Hall.
It was like the Great Hall. I remember that so vividly. It was like, I remember I didn't realize it when we were walking through there. I was just, I was just admiring the building as a whole. But
like, what was that, Eastern?
I think so. That was when we went to Boston.
And then the
And then the what?
And then the that school from Canada sang the song that Rue died to in Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
Freaking
yeah.
Killed me.
I remember that. That was actually the first night. Cause it was the thing was actually 3 nights. Or no, it was
either way.
2 nights.
Killed me.
2 nights because we went Thursday and Friday. Thursday we spent the night in Philadelphia, and then Friday we spent the night in
Yeah.
And Friday and Saturday we spent the night at Perkins, and then Sunday we came back, spent the night in Philadelphia, and then came back. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. That was the first night whenever they had the Kamel was playing in the drum thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Canada killed me.
Yeah. That was, I mean, you actually almost got me back into Hunger Games because I had read the first book in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I've never got around to reading the second or the third one. I really need to. I need to go back and read the first one again. Yeah. I really need to go back and read the first one again.
You do.
Because I remember, from what I remember of it, the first one was a good book.
Yeah. I could stand to do all of them again anyway.
Yeah. You like that? A Song of Ice and Fire, I think, would be good for you because, I mean, it's got a bunch of characters in it and stuff. It's got a big world, but, yeah, A Song of Ice and Fire, I think, like, it's got the big world. It's got like it's more like a medieval kind of thing.
Hey, that's cool.
With swords and stuff, and it's these families. All these families are competing for the Iron Throne, and they scheme and do whatever
Mm-hmm.
they have to get it. And I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but it's so good. And then I watched. I got around to watching the series, and the series is pretty much, it's well known around the world. It was a huge phenomenon when we were in school. So
I heard they kind of fumbled the bag though at the end.
Yeah, they definitely did, and you know why they did? Because they got past the books.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, the 5th and 6th season were, they were all right, but 7 and 8, they were just kind of crapped out, I think. Just so they could say they finished the series. But I would really say the first 4 seasons are almost 1-to-1 with the book.
Nice.
By the way, I want to actually hook you on to a website that my friend Carol hooked me on to. It's called audiovault.net.
Okay.
So what it is, you can download MP3 versions of audio described movies for free.
Okay.
And they got a lot on there. That's how I got these Game of Thrones seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
cool.
You have to create an account for them, but once you do, you can. I mean, you don't have to pay anything for it or nothing. You just get on there and search for the. Like, you'll see where it says view all the movies, view all the TV shows, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
It's
Nice.
cool. It's got a bunch on there. I've got movies that you can't really find in audio description. I got them in audio description.
Nice.
Yeah. So what is life at the Career Training Center like?
I kind of lost you for a second.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
What is life at the Career Training Center like now? Are they still doing social Are they still doing social distancing?
No, it's almost like it never happened, which thank God.
Of course. We'd all knew it would come.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm glad it has come.
Me too. Let's just hope they don't send another one come 2025. I'm joking. But yeah, what is life like up there? Like, what do y'all do on a daily basis?
I mean, we have our classes. We do things in the afternoon. Like Mondays, we go to Walmart and we grab anything we forgot or we need or anything like that. And I mean, Sundays we go out to dinner. That's where the Bojangles comes in.
Ah. Bet you wish GMS would have done that.
Oh, boy, don't I?
Yeah. Every time I get off the bus, we'd get something to eat from McDonald's or Wendy's or something or whatever. We'd get something to eat, then we'd go home.
Mhm.
And it was just, man, those were good times at GMS, and seeing a lot of those things, we wouldn't have been able to see them if we were just sitting at our house right now, like we are right now.
Right.
What were actually some of your best memories from GMS?
Oh, that's hard.
I know meeting you was was one of them for me, and just like our relationship was.
Yeah.
That was
actually.
Actually, what?
Speaking of that, it was our first or second prom. It was the one with the teal dress. We went to the Cheesecake Factory, and
that was my first kiss.
My mom and my mom and us had.
I'm sorry, I had to mention that. I had to. I just had to.
Okay. Anyway, my mom and us had gotten there a little bit before, your people. So we were walking. I mean,
I don't think my people were
we
there.
were sitting in the lobby
We were.
of the Cheesecake Factory, and this family walks by, and this little girl is like trying to stop and stare because, you know, I look like a princess, and her mom was like, keep walking.
That was one of the first day. That was one of the better moments for me. And then, this wasn't at GMS, but me and you going rock mining and then going seeing the play.
Oh yeah.
That was some of the best. And then me and you sitting in there playing GTA.
Yeah.
Me and Mama always talks about that whenever we talk about you coming over. And you know, me and you, like,
God, I was blowing up cars and it was crazy.
You were blowing. I showed you how to blow up the cars. Yeah, I was showing you how to blow up the cars.
And I think at one point I had like gotten a cop car.
Yeah, you were always wanting to get in either a fire truck or a cop car.
Yeah.
And you finally got one.
I think I did both though. I think I did both though.
Yeah, you definitely got in a fire truck. I remember that. And then the cop car, like you got in the cop car and everybody was shooting at you. You remember?
Yeah.
You didn't get too far in the cop car.
No,
though.
I didn't. But you know, it was just the fact of being in it, even for a second.
And me and you would sit in there and play for hours.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a good time, and that was one of the first times that I actually got to have that, you know, as my friends coming over.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Chase and Shazan, they all come over.
And I think, like, one of the nights we had stayed up till, like, midnight, and, like, Caden or your daddy or somebody like that made us breakfast.
Yeah, I think it was Dad. I don't know. It might have been Caden. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Hey, it was one of them, too.
It's been so long. It's been so long, Margaret.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's hard to explain some of the stuff when your brain gets used up.
Yeah.
The blockhouse.
Yes.
So tell everybody what the blockhouse was. You can probably explain it better than I can.
So it was at least supposed to be a kind of simulation of an apartment. You know, we were allowed and supposed to, like, cook and clean and all that. Just basically anything you would do in an actual apartment. But of course, we were supervised.
Yep.
Of course.
Of course.
And maybe some of us to a point where, yes, we did learn things from it, but some of us may not have built up the confidence and such that we needed to.
I remember,
and I'm not meaning this to say anything bad.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, sometimes it just don't work for people, but it definitely helped me, and I think I made a bad call whenever I decided to stay back that last year. 'Cause I honestly think it would have been a better idea. But I was thinking, like, there's a bunch of other people probably want to go. Why?
Right.
And me and Shazan decided to stay back.
And I appreciate that, You felt that other, people wanted and may have needed to go. You followed your heart on that one. Even if you feel later that it steered you wrong.
Right. I honestly do think, I still had a good year 2019. That was actually one of the best years for me personally. That was my best year, I think.
That's good.
So 2018, 2019. I remember 2018 Christmas. You were in the chorus at that time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all went up, and then the band. Or no, I think the band went first, and then chorus, and then we got up there. We got up there and did Hot Chocolate, and
Oh my God! Yes.
Yes. And that was definitely one of the highlights for me because
we the choir did another one from that, and I don't know if it was that year or another year, but I had a solo towards the beginning of that, and I surprised my parents with it.
What do you remember what song it was?
I don't remember the name of it, but I'm wishing on a star and trying to be
Christmas Comes to Town.
Yes.
When Christmas Comes to Town.
Yes.
And you got to sing that first part.
Yes.
Wow. I don't.
And that's.
Why do I keep cutting over you?
Doing just then to help you out with. Well, to get you to help me out with what it was called.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that. So I actually don't think that was. I think that was maybe a year before, or some certain years before, like maybe before I came.
Maybe.
Because 2016, I don't know. It might have been 2016. I don't know because I wasn't in chorus at the time or band.
But I remember, one year Miss, I think it was the year Miss Ramen left that we had still had one, but it felt kind of different. But we had done this version of Let It Snow, and during it, they had, paper, glitter, and some other stuff that they had made snow out of, and were basically throwing on us while we sang Let It Snow. And, at first it distracted me, but, when you're in choir or something and something distracts you, you gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I hear you. But I remember when we did hot chocolate, and right before we, like, when we got up and got sat up for everything. And I'm telling you, this is playing out in my head while I'm talking to you about it. It seems like it was yesterday. But anyway, Kimmy goes, we're all wearing Christmas pajamas, and Skyler's got SpongeBob on.
Oh my god!
That's the one thing that sticks out whenever I remember that time.
Yeah.
And then 2019, it actually ended up being the last band concert I ever took part in, because I only had chorus for that last year. So, unfortunately, I was coming down with a strep throat.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, I was struggling that week. I mean, the whole week. They almost sent me home several times.
Oh goodness.
I think this was the one. This was right before you graduated.
Oh man, okay.
So you remember that?
Maybe. I mean,
So
just keep going.
the band, after we had such a success with the band just being so musical. I mean, we had Shazine, Jody, Matthew, Dustin, Wesley, every really musical person in that school.
Yes.
And after Miss Sterling saw that we were doing really good and getting to know it, she had us teach each other different songs.
I think I do remember that.
And mine was the bump bump ba 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 bum bum bump bum 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 bum.
Okay.
But I think everybody had a good song. I mean, everybody seems to think my song was the best, but I'm like, dude, everybody was showing talent in that show.
Yeah.
And my honest favorite was probably Jody's, and then High Hopes. And then Shazine did Mellow Out by Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
So, but anyway, that week comes, and we actually go perform at a nursing home. And we're playing those songs. And something happened, and I'm like, my throat is not feeling good at all. And I thought it was just a flare up or something. You know, they happen every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And they about sent me home Wednesday, and I was like, no, I cannot go home. I've got a band concert. I'm not going home until I do this band concert. If you want to pack me up and send me home after the band concert, fine. Not then, though. Not before. And I'm so glad I made that decision, because that ended up being my last band concert.
Yeah, I mean, last things like that are crazy, especially when you know they are your last ones.
I didn't know that was my last one, because I was just like, I'm gonna get through this, because I had a song I really wanted to do, and then I wanted to be there for everybody else's, because I had a part in everybody else's.
Mhm.
So that and then we did that, and then the next year I wasn't able to take band. So I'm really glad I made that move and decided to stay.
I'm glad you did too.
So I remember, I remember when we got up there for chorus, and we went through Tina Singu.
Yeah.
Watcha, watcha, watcha.
Yeah.
Tina Singu le votaro.
Okay.
Okay. So we ran through that song, and I was just like, man, I can't do it. My voice ain't letting me do it. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Derling, after that song, she was just like, okay, Skyler, come on, sit down. So I sat down, and I was like, I will not miss We Are the World.
Yeah, because that is such a good, powerful, connecting kind of thing.
Right. Shazan actually had to sing some of the higher parts for me.
Yeah.
And then he ended up blowing his voice out.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. He told me that a few years after. He was like, I blew my voice out. And then he ended up getting sick the next like after I got back home. And
Oh no.
The thing about it is I sent Chase went home with me that weekend. And we had we had to send Chase back, and Chase was freaking out. It's like, oh no, the house parents are gonna get mad at me because you didn't come back with me. And I'm like, dude, why would the house parents be mad at you?
Right.
So then go ahead. Go ahead.
You were sick. Why would they be mad at him for you being sick? And how else was he gonna get
back to school?
Back to his place. Yeah, back to school in his place.
Yeah, true. But then, as soon as I got back, Shazan started having problems. I'm sitting here like, did I just transfer something to you, Newkirk?
Yeah, I mean, stuff spreads. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But I was away from the school. But I mean, still, it didn't matter. I was there whenever I had it.
Right.
So, I think he ended up having something different. But, it was still, man. I tell you. So, what is there anything you have to say to blind people that are trying to make it in this world?
If there's any way you can, find a community, we are out there and ready to support you.
Very much so. You're not alone. And that's one of the reasons I ended up starting the Blind Lives Matter series because I wanted to let other blind people know, and even sighted people know, that there are blind people that all over the world that are going through some of the same things I went through, and maybe not to the same degree as I had, but they have varying degrees of it. But most of them have been through stuff, discrimination and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to anybody that's getting discriminated for being blind? Hello? Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you could hear me. You kind of went silent on me there for a minute.
Hey, yeah. You kind of did.
Oh, so you didn't hear me for a minute?
No, I didn't hear you for a minute, but I got you now.
Okay, so what would you say to somebody that's getting discriminated for being blind?
Don't take it. If you can find a way to get around it, get your point across, get your needs met, go for it.
Definitely.
Don't take their crap.
And especially speaking, for me and Margaret, because we've been through some of that stuff, and others on this podcast. So I think we're going to wrap this up.
I'm sorry. The way I see it, the best asset, kind of, I have had in my earlier, elementary, middle school life is my mom, because she fought tooth and nail for me. She did not stop until I got what I needed.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to have. I mean, my mama and papa were always supporting. My mama, she would do what she could, but Mama and Papa were the ones, especially Papa. I mean, he would step in there when he needed to and tell them, hey, this is what he needs. This is what we're going to work for.
Yeah, you can't. When dealing as a parent, when dealing with a blind child, or even as a blind person, you need to be ready to ruffle some sided feathers, bash some sided heads.
Yeah, definitely. My papa's definitely done a few. My mom's done a few. Especially my papa.
Mom's done a few.
My mama and papa were especially integral in, I mean, my mom was too, but, it was, my mama and papa would, and then my mama would, walk with us, and me not knowing, she would walk with us whenever I was having an O&M lesson. That way she knew if I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
And, mama did what she could. She had cheat sheets and stuff. And for me, it was more of along the lines of getting, certain sighted people to realize that just because I was blind doesn't mean you can pull me out of the class and not, even bother to try to teach me.
Right.
So, I think we're gonna wrap this podcast up.
Okay.
Is there any last thing you want to say to everybody, Margaret?
Not that I can think of right offhand. I'm glad to have been up here, and I hope I added some good kind of value to it.
You definitely did. You definitely did. I'm really glad to have you on here, Margaret. And if I'm being honest with you, like when I did the podcast with Chase, I felt kind of the same way I do now. Like this is gold.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, without further ado, this is the Skyler Jarvis Show. I'm your host, Skyler. That's Margaret signing off. Peace!
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Skyler has left the building. Hey, bro, don't you want to say anything?